Hey, family, this is Dr. William Clark here for Leadership Conversations. This is the show where we talk about leadership according to the world that matters to you. Wanted to come on and continue this ongoing conversation with you about fundraising for your nonprofit. And, as I continue to go deeper in this content with the podcast, I'm realizing how much of this information isn't really widely known and shared with those of you who are looking to launch a nonprofit. Now, for those who are already established in the business, in the industry, if you will, who've been doing this for quite a while, who understand a lot of the dynamics that I talk about, and who are exposed to just the opportunities that are out there for fundraising, that does not mean that information trickles down to many of you who are new to this, who are looking to get into this, and quite frankly, I'm of the mindset that more nonprofits are needed. More nonprofits are necessary to help with solving community problems and providing community solutions. And the absence of nonprofits that are more plugged into the community, that are more plugged into the needs of the community, hearing the voice of the community, makes it difficult for even the larger nonprofits who do similar work as you, but don't have the reach that you may have. So, I want to continue just this ongoing conversation about fundraising strategies, and what can be done to significantly impact the work that you're doing so that you have the resources to make it happen. Now, you do want to be mindful of the fact that you want to have diverse revenue sources coming in for your nonprofit. In my book, Sustainable, I talk about the culture that's necessary for your nonprofit to have in order to build towards generating diverse and various types of revenue sources. So, of course, you want to have your grants coming in, and I think that has to always be part of your strategy. But also, you want to look at earned income. You want to look at partnerships and fundraisers at that. Throughout my podcasting portfolio, you'll see those topics covered in one way or the other. And so I provide information on that. But I will continue to do that for you because I think it's critical that if you don't have that knowledge of how to raise money by way of grants or investments or earned income or contracts or partnerships, then your nonprofit will not be around to provide the valuable services that it needs to provide for the community you're serving. And at the end of the day, that's what your community is asking for. That's what your community needs without a shadow of a doubt. That's what you need to survive, but not only survive, but thrive as a nonprofit organization. But I will tell you, as a mechanism to get you off the ground, you do need to be thinking about grants. Now, I have a grant writing course that is coming up soon, and I want to make sure you're a part of that. On the screen, you'll see some marketing material around the free grant writing workshop I got coming up. But I would also encourage you um, to look at upcoming grant writing courses I have, because the ones that are coming after this free one are the ones that are really going to elevate your thinking and raise the bar. And I talk about more than grant writing, right? Grant writing is kind of the sexy name we put out there that gets the attention of people, and that tells people, hey, this is a familiar term you're used to hearing when you're talking about grant writing, etc. But there are a number of fundraising strategies that I want to share with you, and I will do my best to convey that via this podcast. And I will do my best to do that by way of making courses available, both courses that are live here in Hartford as well as those that are happening online. So, as we gear up to share more content around grant writing, I want to make sure that you are kind of on board with following us on this journey. I want to make sure that you're plugged into our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube pages. I want to make sure you're plugged into our podcasting platform. And let me say this too. This is not uh, the topic is not necessarily grant writing or funding, but I will tell you, this show is called Leadership Conversations, and perhaps one day we'll look at changing it. But I'm a steadfast believer that leadership has a significant part to play in your ability to raise money for your nonprofit, for your church, for your ministry, for your project. The absence of leadership can derail any opportunity you have to raise money, let alone slow it down. And so I don't want to lose sight of that. I don't want to um, ignore that important piece of information because leadership is critical. But we will do our best to bridge the world between leadership and nonprofit fundraising as much as we can so that you have the resources and the information you need to go out there and win those grants, generate that revenue for your nonprofit. Until the next time, this is Dr. William Clark for Leadership Conversations. Follow us on Instagram TV, Instagram regular, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and your favorite podcasting platform. We'll see you in the next show. Peace.